20 seconds. Quiet as possible, everyone. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Far enough, Sergeant. The raiders haven't crossed into Tivierdale, and that means that we still have them. Are the forts secured?
Aye, Sir Walter, and the passes. We've 100 men between here and the Terrace Moss. They won't get away.
Then they need sharper eyes than yours. There's one of the rogues on that hill.
Do we pursue him?
You pursue him! I'll hang him!
Go on.
It's no use. We can't get through. The warden has every person ford blocked. His men are everywhere. Damn Sisford.
Damn yourself, Dowie. We should never have raided the warden's land.
I had my reasons, Mus Champ. It was bad luck what happened.
Bad luck. The 10 of us should ride into 50 of them. Bad leadership, I call it.
You weren't forced to come with us.
No, that's the last time I do. 5 of us dead, and not a head of cattle to show for it. No. From now on, I'm on my own.
Listen, Tim. It's not so long since you crossed the border with your own English warden on your tail. Aye. You were pleased enough to put yourself under my protection then. Englishman.
Your protection?
We're gonna need every man we have if we're to get back home.
Home? My home's a smoking ruin and my fields are empty.
Aye, we all know what burning means.
Damn Sisford! We'll get home. And not empty-handed either.
When you try to lift a herd of cattle with a warden out after us?
Cross that hill, slit rig land. Gilbert cares, lad. We'll lift some of his cattle, wait until dark, and then drive them home with us.
Aye, if Kerr Slitrig will let us. But he's a hard man, he's got plenty of help.
He'll be out with a warden. They're related.
Well, they might be related, but the way I hear it, they're not friends. And don't you forget, he's got 2 sons.
Sons. Bits of boys. Away and take a look at the Slitrig grave. Let me know what you see.
Jimmy, primed and ready. But don't cock it unless you mean to use it.
Any more orders, big brother?
Aye. Wash your face before you meet the warden.
Ooh, do you hear that, Rab? Gavin's come back from St Andrews full of airs and graces. He was never too keen on washing before he went to university, you know.
Oh, well, Jamie, you don't want to shame your family at the warden's table.
Do you think Cesford will invite us to dine with him?
Oh, for a very important person like yourself, he'll bring out his gold plates and pile them high with his best roast beef. And there's no better beef than Sir Walter's. I've tasted it often.
Aye, but not at Sir Walter's invitation.
To tell you the truth, Gavin, it nearly choked me.
And so would his rope if he could get it around your neck.
Aye, well, I'd rather not think about that. Come on, boy, come on. There you are, Jamie.
Thank you, Rab. Come on.
There he goes, full of his own importance, escorting his father to meet the warden.
Many people have been meeting the warden lately.
Aye, in the debatable lands.
He hung 12 outlaws last month, burned out another 20.
And the ones that are left will be hard put to survive. If I know Cesford, he hasn't left them a cow or a stalk of corn.
Well, it's his duty to hunt down the outlaws and keep the peace, Rab.
Aye, and grow rich in the proceeds.
Father wants a word with you, Gavin. I've made some bannock for the journey.
I don't think they'll feel hungry, Miss Agnes.
Rab, these are for Father and Jamie. I'm sure I put more than that in. Grizel?
Well, I did take some, Agnes, but they weren't for me.
Then for who?
For the kelpie that lives in the burn. If you leave out food for him, he won't harm you.
Kelpies, fairies, hobgoblins. Who fills your head with this nonsense?
They should be ashamed of themselves.
But there is a kelpie. Rab's seen him often.
Well, that Cesford's tax is ready for him. I suppose that's why he summoned me. We must be off now, Margaret.
Don't go, Gilbert. Not today.
Now, what's the matter? You've been upset since daybreak.
And before that, there was a full moon last night.
Well, nobody on the border sleeps sound when there's a full moon. Still, you had no need to fear raiders. Rab was on watch.
It's not raiders I'm afraid of. It's a feeling that... Gilbert, don't go.
You and your premonitions. You know you'll burn as a witch one day. But Cesford wants to see me. I can't keep on ignoring his summons.
Look!
It's only a crow.
It's a raven. It's a bird of ill omen, Gilbert.
No, I can see it quite plain, my dear. You're mistaken. It's just a crow. Now, Sir Walter's always anxious to get his taxes in. He wouldn't want them delayed because of a bird, would he? Come on, don't worry. I'll be back before nightfall, and I'll have a heavy escort.
Just as you say. You'll mind and pay my respects to Sir Walter.
If you think he merits it. I've always given Cesford his due.
He would say different.
Nevertheless, it's true. We've assisted him in all his lawful business. His unlawful business is his own affair.
Cesford isn't an evil man.
No, but he's a damned ambitious one. Otherwise, he wouldn't become warden.
He only claimed what he thought was his by right.
Right? Murdering his rival in the high street of Edinburgh. Setting the whole march alight with a feud between us Kerrs and the Scott family.
feuds and politics. There should be no concern of women.
True. But with a Catholic queen here and a Protestant queen in London, intrigues multiply and flourish like flies in a midden. Gavin! Now, the English are looking for an excuse to attack, and there are some in the march only too ready with provocation, and we'll be the first to suffer.
The more reason to be loyal to Sir Walter. It's a hard task as warden. Maybe he deserves our sympathy.
Uh-huh. You know, you always did seem to have some kind of regard for him, as he did for you. Maybe a wee bit more than regard, eh?
Gilbert is my cousin. You're my husband.
Losh, lassie, I was but jesting. Now, we've had few times of plenty, and more than our share of want. But we've had a good life together. Eh, Margaret?
I ask nothing more.
You wanted me, Father?
Oh, that wolf that's been at the flocks lately, I want it hunted down. Oh, Maggie, will you get my short bag? I nearly forgot it.
I'll get it.
It's, not the wolf, is it, Father?
No, not the four-legged kind. I don't like leaving the tower so lightly defended, but we can ill afford to lose this, so I must travel with a heavy escort.
Don't worry. They won't attack here in broad daylight, and you'll be back before dark.
Aye, but keep a good watch just the same. The country's in a troubled state. There are broken and hunted men to the west, and if trouble does come, it'll come from that direction.
Or from the south?
I've no quarrel with the English.
Well, they raided Tam Elliot last noon, drove off a herd.
Yeah, there's no satisfaction in a neighbour's misfortunes, but Tam brings them on himself. He crosses the English side too often, and never returns empty-handed.
Oh, no doubt some of the beasts were his own, but not all of them. And Elliot's determined to get those cattle back.
His or somebody else's. There are lawful ways of recovering stolen gear. I'd help as a neighbour should. But the Curs will take no part in a reprisal raid.
Well, I believe that's what he has in mind.
Aye, it would be. Tam Elliot's a hot-tempered man. He could bring grief to us all.
I've got the men mounted, Father, and we're set to go.
Good lad. But you've forgotten something, haven't you?
Have I?
Wash your face!
Mother's resting. She didn't sleep last night. And what's this?
Erasmus, philosophy.
Do you have to learn all that at St. Andrews?
Why? And Latin, letters, theology.
I'm glad I'm not a boy. Will Jamie be sent to study?
No. The law requires that the eldest sons of landholders be taught Latin and letters, but it says nothing of the younger ones.
Well, he'll be glad to hear that. Gavin, there's been something worrying you since you came back. I can tell.
It's Father. He should be more cautious in his dealings with Cessford.
Sir Walter's a kinsman.
When it suits him. He's a devious, ambitious man, Agnes.
Oh, well, he wouldn't harm us.
It would suit him fine to have Slippery glands in his own pocket, or in the hands of some puppet.
Now, Father, he'd never be that.
Well, he knows that. So does Cessford.
Well, maybe you should advise him to go carefully.
I don't think he'd take kindly to my advising him on anything. There's a great pride in his own judgment, Agnes.
And a great respect for your learning. Oh, he may not say it to you, but he said it to others. In fact, he was threatening to put Jamie under your instruction.
That would send him scurrying off into the hills. But even if Jamie was willing and I had the time, you see, I shall be off as soon as the harvest's in.
You're just back. Oh, you can't be thinking of leaving us again, Gavin.
More than thinking. I stopped off in Edinburgh to arrange a passage to France next month.
France? You're never going to the mercenaries?
No. A soldier's life's not for me. I'm more interested in learning, not bloodshed.
Have you told Father?
No. He'll be disappointed, but I don't think he'll stop me. Mind you, I think Mother suspects.
Gavin?
A bird rose suddenly on the hill.
Traveller?
One that doesn't want to draw attention to himself. Most why does he ride on the hills and not the valley? Reb, drive the milk herd well up the burn and scuttle them over the hillside.
Agnes? I thought I heard someone gallop off.
That was just Rab going down to the herd.
What's all this?
It's nothing, Mother.
Nothing, with Gavin wandering about, armed to the teeth. God have mercy, raiders.
Precautions, Mother. Nothing. We saw a rider on the hill.
Raiders and all the men awake. Why didn't you waken me, Agnes?
There was no reason, but we didn't want to get you alarmed.
Alarmed, is it, missy? You weren't weaned when I first stood by your father in defence of this tower. What preparations have you made, Gavin?
Rab's hiding the herd. I'm just away to bar the gate.
Agnes, with powder and balls by every loophole, and a lance by every door,
Aye, Mother.
and water, have casks of water ready.
Do you think they'll try to burn us out?
Quick, lass, quick! And put Grizzle in the topmost room.
The warden asks me to say that if you'll wait in his chamber, he won't keep you long.
As it pleases him, Master Pringle. Thank you.
Is Master Pringle the warden clerk?
Yeah, he is.
Our man Rab says he's a sly, thieving scribbler.
Aye, Rab would think that, seeing as Pringle wrote out the warrant for his hanging. Still, they do say that Master Pringle's mind is behind Sir Walter's plots and schemes.
Then he does well by him. Our kinsman doesn't lack for comfort.
Jamie, put that down. Should have left you out with the horses. No more manners than they have.
Aye, Gilbert, man. I see you're here.
Aye, in answer to your summons.
Jimmy? A fine rider, I remember.
I can use a blade too, sir.
Can ye? Good. We can use sharp swords of these borders to defend the realm and do the warden's bidding, eh? Not that I decry learning in a boy, understand. It's a fine thing for clerks and priests.
I'll hear no words against my brother, sir.
Your eldest's been teaching him impertinence, Gilbert.
We always stand together. Your fees and taxes.
Receipt these against the Slitrig lands and pour a stoup of wine for my guests. They should be as conscientious about other matters, Gilbert. I called a muster last month and word was sent to you.
Aye, I received your word.
But you did not attend.
I had my own matters to attend to.
Oh, but the choice isn't yours. In my office of warden, I represent the crown, and disrespect for one is disrespect for the other. And if I seek assistance to carry out my duties, you're obliged to give it.
From all barons, fjords, freeholders, landed gentlemen.
Aye, obliged to give it, Gilbert. Or take the consequences.
What consequences?
Pringle?
In the ordinary way, it could be a fine, but confiscation of lands and property is also provided for in some cases.
But not in this case.
Her Majesty's Privy Council is most anxious that the borders be maintained in a peaceful condition. And, well, now, you've been sparing with your help, and your thrift's been noted in certain high places.
We're flattered to learn that the Privy Council has condescended to discuss our conduct.
They haven't, but they've discussed mine, and that's more important.
What Sir Walter means is that there's other powerful men in the Middle March that covet the office of warden.
Aye, Scott to Branksome. But doubtless you'll deal with him as you dealt with his father.
The Scott family were never friends of the Kerrs, as you remember when Branksome was warden.
And since there's profit to be made from such high places, I'm not surprised.
Maybe. But if I can't fulfill my duties, the Crown will soon find someone who can. There are affairs of state involved. The Privy Council is anxious at the moment to avoid an open quarrel with England. There's been too much raiding across the border.
In both directions, I'm told.
I'll not deny it, but that's the English warden's concern. My concern is to keep the peace on this side, and that's why I called the muster. Laddie, you know the debatable land?
Aye, sir, that's the stretch of border between Solway and the Terrace Moss. Both countries claim it, though.
It's ours. But the English say it's theirs. It obeys the laws of neither country. It's outside the law, and so are its people. Here. There it is. They raid both of us with impunity.
I heard you devastated it.
I did, but they struck back at me last night. I was raided by Black Dowie, but he left more than he took.
Well, I'm glad he's not my enemy.
Who's raiding into England? I tell you, if the English had ordered reprisals, there's no telling where they would have stopped.
Sugars and spices as you please, gentlemen.
So you see, you must help me keep the peace, man. It would be most unfortunate if you lost my protection.
When have I needed any man's protection?
Tell him, Pringle.
Sir Walter's referring to the odd position you're in with your property. It appears you have no clear title to the Slitrig lands.
There have been cares of Slitrig since Bruce's time.
That's not in dispute. But which cares? There's a suggestion, no more than a suggestion, mind you, that in the absence of any deeds to the contrary, they might even rightfully belong to Sir Walter here.
Damn you for a thieving clerk, Pringle! I tell you the title deeds discovered!
I'll have no drawn swords in the warden's chamber. There was no threat intended.
Good.
Care of Slitrig. I have given you warning.
I've heeded your warning. Care of Cessford. And since our business is finished, I'll bid you good day. Jamie?
A hard man, Sir Walter. A hard and terrible man.
You saw them right off?
Aye, the tower's defended by a man and a boy. And there's a milk cart in the outfield. Just whistle and they'll follow us home.
Will take more than that.
You'd attack the tower itself?
Why not?
Griselle! Griselle! Griselle, will you come out? This is no game. Come out when I tell you. Rab, where's Griselle?
Ah, she's likely in the kitchen, Miss Agnes.
She can't be. The Kelpie.
You should never have let her go, man.
Well, I couldn't stop her.
I'll find them.
Gavin, I thought I saw on the hillside. Steel flashed in the sun.
It's too late, Gavin.
Griselle! 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 Come on home, quickly.
I dropped for him, Gavin. Did you see him fall?
Aye, they're on the run. We've driven them off.
They'll be back, or they're not Moss troopers. And we might be firing out buttons yet.
Is that right? You said that tower was undefended. Now we lost much on. You saw yourself only two of the slits were manned. Aye!
You were quick to run, Dowie.
We thought you were dead. Where's your horse?
It ran off. I hope the cares of its equal.
Then they'll be keeping it. That tower can't be taken.
It can. The stable entry's not secured.
You sure?
Finding out cost me a horse.
Well, smoke out the tower! Go on then!
I wonder how the girls are.
They'll have heard the shooting and hidden. We're back.
Brave
We're just wasting powder. They're keeping well out of range.
Gavin! They've fired the stables!
The door before they charge it.
Help, Rab! I'll see to the fire.
Now that smoke will raise the district. Oh, then we'll get the herd and be off. You three look along the hollow and I'll try the burn side.
Firing stopped. I wonder if they've gone.
Don't leave me, Agnes.
But I won't be long. Now wait there till I return, right?
They've taken Agnes.
What are you saying?
Put on his horse and rode off, hid in the winds and watched. They've taken Agnes.
You're sure, Eb? You're sure?
Aye, I've met him before. His name's Moschamp. Johnny Moschamp from across the borders.
English?
It's Tom Elliot.
I came as soon as I saw the smoke.
How many did you bring, Tom?
Turnbull's outside, and I can raise another 20 men inside there.
And we can't wait that long.
And you must wait for the bloodhounds to show us where they've taken your cattle.
Well, it's not only cattle they've taken. They've got my sister.
No.
Aye. And we know where they're headed. Back to Cumberland. But Ab knows this one.
He's English.
Aye. They're getting gay and impertinent, the English, with their raids in broad daylight. It's barely a month since I took my own herd. But never mind. Once we have enough men, we'll go after them.
No time.
You cannot pursue them across the border without observing the march laws.
He's right, Gavin.
Look, we'll reach the border before them. Rab knows all the passes and fords.
Aye, you're right. And if they're driving cattle, they'll be moving slow.
They've got my sister. For God's sake, man, mount up and ride. South.
South? South, you say? I watch from the hillside. They rode off towards the border.
In the wrong direction. Do you hear that, my lady? We've taken the wrong direction.
That's twice you've been wrong. They didn't cross the Harwood Moss and they haven't been through here. What the devil are they?
Well, they must have forded the Castle Burn. Well, this is the border. It's as far as we can go.
We're following stolen gear.
Then observe the law. We must put lighted peats on our lance heads and ask the first Englishman we see to accompany us.
I know the trod law as well as you, but we don't have lighted peats, and we have no time to turn back for them.
I'm warning you, Gavin. If you don't, and they think we're raiding, it'll go hard for us.
I'm for turning. There's been no sign of the raiders.
They might be just ahead of us. I saw the farmstead on the other side about a mile away. They might tell us something. Will you cross with me?
You'll be breaking the law. I will cross.
Poor feeding this. Never mind. We'll soon be eating good roast beef. Slit-rig beef. Sweet and tender, eh?
Are you going to ransom her?
Why? In time.
She's going back to the Slit-rig. Now,
what's this?
Look, raiding's one thing, but if you harm her, the curs won't rest till they've hunted us down.
Oh, I'm hunted as it is. A few more hounds in the pack won't make much difference.
Aye, well, I want no feud with the curs.
Don't cross me, Graham.
Come on, lass, I'll set you back by the Slit-rig walls.
Graham, I lead this way.
I mean how you let it. 10 right out and 4 right back.
Stop him, lads! What, Iggy? Stop him, I tell you. We'll get a good ransom for that. Graham! Ow! You'll live to regret this, Graham, if you live at all.
Well, your home's not far away.
Oh, I think I know where I am. I am grateful to you, Robin.
Goodbye.
Father!
Agnes, what's happened?
Sure enough, my Billy. One cry sees your guts on the cobbles.
We mean no harm.
Since when did a band of armed Scots ever cross the border without meaning harm? I saw you at my cattle, and your moss troopers are pillaging my house.
Oh, no, we look for lighted peats. We're on a lawful trod.
Liar. If my men were here, you wouldn't...
Put your knife away, man.
They've stolen my cattle and taken my sister. Have you seen horsemen?
None pass this way. You're on a lawful trod?
I said so. And in accordance with border law, I declare myself to be Gavin Kerr of Slitrig, and I ask you to come with us as a token of our peaceful intentions. We take nothing that wasn't taken from you.
I can't come. As you can see, my leg's badly hurt.
You can mount a horse, surely.
My knee pan's broke. In a riding accident. You'll have to look elsewhere for convoy, Scotsman.
Come, we're wasting our time. Right?
We've been wasting time since we set out. You said the raiders were English, but I said they didn't ride south. So you can carry on if you please, but I'm turning back.
I'll mind these words, Elliot. If ever I see smoke coming from your barn.
Look! I'm not going to kill my horse for no purpose.
Comrade, we'll circle around the Nickel Woods, see if we can see some sign of them.
What you needed you?
I told you, I fell from my horse.
That's a fine herd you have out there.
Aye, and they're not his.
No, they're not yours either. It's barely 4 weeks since they were stolen from my land. And I remember rightly, one of the raiders was wounded in the knee.
These are my cattle.
No! Because there's a bullock out there with a twisted horn. I know it, and it knows me.
Take your suspicions to your warden.
My warden has enough on his plate. No. I'll just take the worth of my beasts.
His name was Graham, you say?
Aye, Robin Graham.
Then I'm in his debt. But in nobody else's, it would seem. Our neighbours must have seen the smoke rising from the stables, but they didn't come.
Tom Elliot did. Him and another.
Elliot? Better none than him. Where are Gavin and Rab now?
The road south.
To the border? But the raiders weren't English.
They were Black Dowie's men.
Rab thought otherwise.
Rab's a fool. And Gavin's no better. Jamie, find the freshest horse you can. Write to Cessford. Tell him where Dowie's men are.
Aye, Father.
How long is it since Gavin's been going?
Long enough for him to be well into English ground.
With Tom Elliot. I'll go after him.
Alone?
Aye. One rider will attract less attention. Just pray there's been no trouble. Scots. Curse of Slitrig. Lad of Slitrig. Take him!
They don't choose their words with any delicacy, do they?
You trouble yourself too much, Sir Walter.
I can't ignore a letter from the Privy Council, Master Pringle. It's a warning. A direct threat to my office, no less than that, and under Lethington's own seal. The Secretary of State wouldn't write to me in such terms unless someone was prodding him. There's a ploy afoot to be rid of me.
Fancies, Sir Walter, just fancies. It merely instructs you to put a stop to the raids of the English border. No more than that.
It's what's left unsaid that bothers me. Although the hint's strong enough in what's there. If I can't find them, they'll appoint someone who can. Now, who's behind it, Pringle? Tell me who.
You ken the names as well as I do. Buccleuch, Armstrong, Fairniehurst. It could be any one of them.
Aye, any one of them. And how do I stop the raiding, eh?
You may well ask. It's a problem that's beaten better other men than yourself.
Maxwell, the warden of the West March, he took one of the rogues and he burned him to...
The devil's name, what's that?
My brother's gone south to the border.
Which one, Jimmy Cairn?
Eh?
Please,
Oh, let's see him.
Warden.
Let him through!
Oh, aye, and what brings you back?
Slitrig, it's been raided. Dowie's men.
Are you sure it was Dowie?
Certain, sir. They're heading up with the Wolf's Clook burn.
Pringle, inform the warden sergeant immediately and send him after them. Although doubtless your father will have half the district chasing them already.
No, there were few came to our aid, sir.
Oh, well, maybe Gilbert Kerr has learned that a man who isn't prepared to make enemies ends up with damn few friends.
Gavin's going in pursuit with those we do have.
Oh, well, if he catches them, he'll likely read them a sermon in Greek.
He won't catch them, Sir Walter. He thought they were English and rode south.
God's teeth! To the border!
The horses are wounded. They won't be driven much further.
I know. We need fresh mounts and more men.
Well, there should be enough of both of the slit rig by this time.
We'll go back.
Cut him down, lad.
Raise our kinsmen and all our friends. Tell the Turnbulls I need their help, and ask the Rutherfords if they'll ride with us. Raise Tividale and Liddesdale. Send word that I need more men. I'll burn their farms and kill their men. I'll leave blackened fields and empty byres.
It was bloodshed you're after. You won't have long to wait. No, lad, they outnumber us.
They'll soon be fewer.
Do you want to lie there beside your father and leave your family unprotected?
Who are you and why are you here?
We could ask you the same question.
I'm Sergeant to Sir John Foster, Warden of the English Middle March. Now declare yourselves.
I'm Gavin Kerr of Slitrig, and I follow the trod. Mark my name well, Englishman, for you'll know it in grief.
I hanged a moss trooper who killed one of Her Majesty's subjects. He led your raid.
Raided nobody. Yet. We follow stolen gear. You see the lighted peat on our lance heads. Our pursuit is lawful.
You had no light on your lances when you crossed the border, I know that. And now Lyle of Parkhead lies dead.
Parkhead? That's the farmstead we were in, Gavin. This is Elliot's work.
Who do you claim ran off your gear?
The Englishman Moschamp was one of the reavers. We'll bury him when we get back.
That I'm much pleased to hear. He was outlawed 6 weeks ago and fled to Scotland to join up with Black Dowie.
You swear it?
I swear it. We'd have put a rope round his neck.
Gay anxious to use your ropes.
There seems to be some confusion here. They're not running any of Lyle's cattle. Well, our two wardens will have to settle the matter when next they meet.
Settle the matter? My father's dead.
You broke the march laws. You let one of your people murder one of mine. You're as much to blame as anyone. Well, will you turn or fight?
We'll leave it at 1 for 1.
Ride north.
Come on, lad. We'll take your father home.
You nearly set the whole Middlemarch ablaze with your recklessness. Half of Cumberland was ready to descend on us.
The lad's had enough reproaches. He doesn't need yours. Have you no respect for a house in mourning?
And why is it in mourning? Why does my cousin weep for her dead husband, eh? My loyal friend Gilbert. Why, because of him. I've too many rogues in my wardenry without wanting fools as well. No. Such rashness is not to be tolerated so near the border. It's within my commission to expel you from the Slitrig.
You'd never do that.
For your sake as well as my own. For what defence do you have now that the man of the house is dead, eh? Margaret, my dear, I could maybe find you a steading or a cot house in my estate where you could enjoy my protection.
We stay here.
Aha! He's found his tongue. So you stay here. And if I come with 100 men at my back...
If you come with 1,000 men at your back, Cessford, you may drive us out. But you'd never sleep another peaceful night when the moon was up. I hold the Slitrig against any man. English or Scot. Outlaw or warden.
There speaks the cub that killed his father.
No. There speaks the man of this house.
So be it. Stand alone, Laird of Slitrig.
To the stables, please. That was fine.